Just goes to show, you should never judge a phone by a late release. The Google Pixel 4a is finally in my nerdy little hands, and it's just so darn charming. I'm a fan of smaller phones. I miss the Lumia days of having a nice polycarb plastic back. I love rear fingerprint sensors. Everything is on point for the design of this phone. And I'm not blowing anyone's mind here. I think any gadget geek really worth their salt could have predicted that a Pixel 4a was going to be well received by average consumers regardless of when the phone launched. So because I've had this phone for a couple days and I already have some thoughts, I have a lot of thoughts to share on this, I wanted to start with something a little different than our normal specs list reading. I figure you can go to GSM Arena for that, you don't really need me. We've been going a couple years now with these higher performance mid-ranger chipsets, but there's still this stigma to having that mid-price tiered phone, especially a purpose-built mid-ranger these days, where the experience is probably going to be punishing or it might be compromised. It was a commentary I ran into a lot with the Pixel 3a. Oh man, all this stuff is totally dried out. It's going to be a really hot one today. But the more I used the Pixel 3a and the more my family members started buying that phone, my sister, my brother, and my brother-in-law are all on Pixel 3as now, there were so few things that phone did poorly. I mean, that's a really backwards way of saying it does almost everything well. And the generational upgrade from the Pixel 3a to the Pixel 4a isn't profoundly, revolutionarily better. Every little touch of the phone has been tweaked and improved and optimized. So I would expect, like the Pixel 3a, the 4a should also be an incredible tool for getting all your daily driver stuff done. But that's not gonna be good enough for us gadget geeks. We wanna know that the phones we have in our pockets really are these supercomputers that will never let us down, and we should never have to face any compromises because phone performance and the megapixels and the giggle flips. So let's really put the Pixel 4a to the test. I'm a mobile content creator. I do a lot of work shooting 4K video from phones, and then not only shooting that video from phones, but editing and rendering that video on the phones that I shoot the video with. So let's take the Pixel 4a and shoot a little walk and talk vlog around my condo complex and see how it performs, because I think it's gonna do us just fine from soup to nuts, the entire experience accomplished on this phone. And I do mean the whole thing, the whole shebang. I'm basically taking the same vlogging setup and the same workflow that I use with phones like the LG V60, I mean, top tier powerhouse premium devices, and I'm just slotting in the Pixel 4a. One of the things that makes it really easy is getting another phone this year with a headphone jack. Being able to use my wireless labs plugged directly into the phone helps tremendously for streamlining the audio process. It's such a simple thing. This is such a nerdy little perk, but when we're talking about having a headphone jack, I love that Google is making their camera app as consumer simple as possible, yet we still get a hard toggle in the camera app to choose between using an external microphone or using the mics built into the phone. That's pretty trick. That is definitely a benefit for content creators, making sure they're producing the best quality product. There don't seem to be any hard limits on 4K video. I can shoot at that high quality, just let the video run. I can do take after take after take because I ramble a lot and I make a lot of mistakes. And really, it seems like the phone's gonna hang with me until I thermal throttle or I run out of storage. And we have a little bit more storage to work with, starting with 128 gigabytes of storage. I'm gonna take all those clips, drop them into PowerDirector, scrub out my timeline, make sure I've got those transitions down. Really liking the new PowerDirector update where I have a bit more control over keyframing the audio. I'm gonna push render, and it's not gonna be as fast. The Pixel 4a is definitely gonna take a little bit more time than a premium expensive phone to render out that video, but it's still gonna get it done, and it's still gonna get it done faster than a lot of lower end consumer grade laptops. And just so you think I'm not trying to pull a fast one to make this phone look better than it really is, all of the B-roll of the phone that I'm shooting outside right now was captured on a Pixel 3a. So I'm not using an even more expensive phone to make this video look prettier. All I did was shoot the B-roll, and then I used Nearby Share to wirelessly transfer this video over to the Pixel 4a. And that's the gig. We shouldn't have to worry about a phone sub $400 really getting some heavy lifting work done. Mid-rangers are not only a perfectly reasonable experience, they're still probably overkill for a lot of average consumer needs. We gotta get off this train of only recommending the absolute most expensive phones on ridiculous contracts or leasing programs for regular people. They're not gonna be punished by a phone like this. They're not gonna be punished by an iPhone SE. They're not gonna be punished by a TCL 10 or any of these other mid-chipset designed phones. And I know I still have some folks in my comments who get really cranky when I focus on this level or this tier of content creation. Like, oh right, Juan, like everyone's out there editing and rendering 4K video on their phones. And you folks seem to be purposely missing the point. The idea is if you can drive a $350 phone this hard for what I would say is a decently high content creation 4K video platform to get out some vlogging or to improve on your family videos, who's gonna be let down by this phone if they wanna use it to play some Candy Crush and check in on Facebook? That's the idea. Can we drive these devices harder? Can we accomplish near laptop replacement grade performance? And if we can, then people who don't have requirements that high are gonna be fine. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But seriously, the Pixel 4a, I'm gonna have a lot more to say about this phone. I wanna write up some comparisons. I mentioned devices like the iPhone SE and the TCL 10 Pro, but I think this is a phone that can punch above that price tag and give devices like the Velvet or the A71 a run for their money too. So stay tuned to the channel. There's gonna be a lot of conversation. This is an extremely exciting tier of smartphone right now. So I think it's gonna be fun. I hope to have you all along for the ride. I'll of course leave some links down below this video where you might find some more info on the Pixel, though I don't think you need my help finding more information on the Pixel 4a. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, and subscribing to the channel. More than just looking at your YouTube metrics to declare pixels as less popular, so you gotta go out and trash them if Google doesn't meet some arbitrary deadline. Instead, we really want to spend time with phones like these to make sure we're really keeping up with all of the best options for consumers at all price tiers. So if you'd like to help support the production of conversations like these, there are those links down below. There's the support page on SomeGadgetGuy.com, or you might consider joining the list of names currently scrolling by on your screen. That's a growing community of fun, like-minded tech pals. A huge resource for me as I'm planning future videos and reviews, and really they're just super cool people, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet at SomeGadgetGuy on the Twitters and the Twitch, and the Facebooks and the Instagrams, but not really. And I will catch you all on the next video.